Hello, everyone. Welcome from the garden of the Sacramento Jesuit Community. Today, I'd like to chat with you about who exactly Jesus is for you, for me. This staying in place mandate gives us a lot of time. Sometimes we may think too much time on our hands. And it's good to examine how we're using this new routine. One of the things I'd like to suggest is that we use it as an opportunity. One of the things we can do is to embrace the opportunity to meet this Jesus, the risen Jesus now for us in Easter, but to meet him. I don't like to play things I'm not good at. I'm fascinated by games, and I love to play games, all sorts of games, athletic games, board games. But I don't think I'm unusual in that I shy away from things I'm not good at. And as we grow up, we may have, at one time early in our life, we might have been curious about and come to know who Jesus was for us at that time. But then we got preoccupied with other obligations, other responsibilities, other projects, and we weren't able to devote a lot of time to that. So that part of who we are, especially that part of our faith, didn't grow. And we don't always feel attracted to go back and develop that when we feel it's not very developed. It's not very developed because we haven't spent a lot of time or energy in doing that. This is a perfect opportunity. You don't need a bundle of time to spend a little time each day to come to know who this Jesus is. In Mark's gospel, in all the Matthew, Mark, and Luke, there's a scene where Jesus says to the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And they relate that to him. And then he says, "But you, who do you say that I am?" So the way I want to approach this is to invite you to consider how, as human beings, we meet. I think we have 4 types of meetings. The first type of meeting is what I would call a casual meeting. You're walking down the street, you're walking on the sidewalk. Across the street, there's someone walking the opposite way. You make eye contact, you recognize one another, you wave. We call that the casual meeting. If you've been to many cocktail parties, there's a lot of casual meeting. The second type of meeting is what I would call the mediated meeting. You meet a person because they happen to be someone I know, and I introduce them to you. I mediate your meeting them. So the way that works in terms of Jesus, the scriptures mediate our meeting. The sacraments do as well, but the scriptures do. Why? Because in the Gospels, we have what Jesus said and what Jesus did. And each of the Gospels has a very different portrait or picture of who Jesus is. So that's the second type of meeting, the mediated meeting. The third type of meeting, I'm sure you all have, business meetings. And a business meeting is a meeting with an agenda. And when you have finished the agenda, the meeting's over. Sometimes we're like that. We've got a few things to get off our chest with God, and when that agenda meeting's over, okay, that's it. The fourth, the final type of meeting I think we human beings have is what I would refer to as the meeting of friends. It isn't so much what you say or what you do, it is spending time in that other person's presence. You don't have to worry about what you're going to say. You don't have to worry about what you're going to do. You just spend time, whether it's enjoying a sunset, the beauty of nature, an athletic event involving one of your children. You just spend time with that friend. And that ultimately is, I believe, the most satisfying type of meeting. It is for our growing in our knowledge and experience and love of Jesus as a friend. You know, the early Celtic people had a prayer. It was used in the musical Godspell in the song Day by Day, but it's much earlier than that musical. And the prayer goes this way: day by day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day by day. There's a principle in theater that could serve us well in terms of exploring and discovering who Jesus is for us. And that principle is that we come to know characters by dwelling in their acts. If you open any of the four Gospels and slowly read through and reflect and ponder on what you are reading, who does Jesus reveal himself to be through the words that he speaks, and through the stories he tells, and through the actions he performs? The gospel is a story about a person. Throughout the story, watch Jesus carefully. We keep our eyes on him to learn about him. In every scene, at every turn, every opportunity, what is he saying? What is he doing? He is just loving people. During Holy Week, we celebrated the Passion of Jesus. And that part of the story, what did we learn? He gathers to eat with his beloved, and he gives himself to them. He washes their feet and he prays for them. When Peter brazenly promises to stand by him, Jesus knows better, but he gently draws Peter back in and gives him a way to go on even before he fails. When they arrest Jesus and violence breaks out, he stops it, and he heals the very one who has come to arrest him. What does that tell us about the character of Jesus? Even as Jesus is crucified, he provides for the care of his family and his community. He extends his love to the criminals executed with him and blesses the very people who killed him. And when he is risen, his gift is peace. His message: don't be afraid. Nothing can separate you from my love. The gospel story is all about Jesus's undying love for you and for me. Quick reminder: this Sunday is Mother's Day. Mothers are all about loving. So guys, even amid these shelter-in-place restrictions, find a way this Sunday to thank and to celebrate all of our mothers. Next time, I will continue to explore who Jesus is through some of the stories he told. But until then, Stay grateful, stay hopeful, and especially stay safe. God bless you all.